Hello! Today we're going to talk about the phonemic inventory, that is, the sounds that you find in English, so consonants, vowel sounds, and so on and so forth. First off, we're going to look at what we might call the speech organs, but obviously the tongue and the nose, as well as the windpipe and the oesophagus and the epiglottis and all these babies have much more interesting uses than being components in producing an English sound. Okay, we talk about the tongue, and here we want to talk about the tip sometimes the blade, sometimes the front, and sometimes the back. We want to talk about the palate, that is the area you have here. We have the hard palate here, right? And the soft palate here. And part of this soft palate, or the velum, can be lowered so that the airstream can go through the nose, through the nasal cavity. We also want to talk about alveolar ridges. We have the upper teeth here, and then there's the ridge just just above it, and that is called the alveolar ridge. Fortunately, we only speak of the upper alveolar ridge. We're not going to produce German sounds or Norwegian sounds when in fact the lower alveolar ridge is somewhere you might put your tongue to produce certain sounds, but English is a little simpler just in this department. We also talk about the lips. We use them for producing sounds with, as well as the teeth. Right. Okay, we want to talk about the vocal cords. That is a bit interesting. Put your hand just above your Adam's apple, if you can find one. If it's a male, then it's easier. I don't know what it's like being a female. But here we just try to sing. Oh, find a place there where you can actually sense some vibration when you sing a vowel. Oh, okay, as opposed to where there's no vibration at all. What happens here is that the airstream goes through, but the vocal folds are in fact go together and vibrate, and then produce this impeded airstream with vibration to it. Okay, that's all for now, folks. Now I'm going to take you through the consonants, and then we're going to look a little at vowels later on. Okay, talking about consonants, we can distinguish what we call plosives, p, b, t, d, k, and g, which are special in that we form a closure that prevents the airstream from flowing completely. You completely shut up, as it were, the airstream. You might do that with your lips, and you just have your vocal folds, separated, and airstream can go through it. You build up sound, you build up airstream behind your closed lips. And then at some point you explode that closure, you make the explosion. Similar sound is found with, lips together, airstream building up, but with vocal cords or folds vibrating. Right. With t and d, here you put the tip of your tongue just above the upper ridge of teeth, the alveolar ridge. Find the upper teeth, right? Okay, front of your mouth, right? And then, just a little higher up behind it, put your tip, and then build up. Right. Or you can have the t sound as in time, or the d sound as in do, with the sound. Here we have vocal cords vibrating. You can feel vibration. D, d, t. You can't feel it with the t, right, where the S stream can go completely unimpededly between the vocal cords, as it were. Okay, what we call the glottis here, the canal, as you might call it, between the vocal folds is completely open. Right. Okay, we also have explosive sounds, as it were, plosives, where you use the back of your tongue, right? Take the back of your tongue and press it up against the soft palate. You don't know if you remember the soft palate, so that's the back of your mouth. Take your back tongue, put it up here somewhere, okay, right? And you can either do the unvoiced counterpart or the voiced one. Okay. All these sounds are pretty easy for a Dane, but there's much more articulation energy when you say p than you say Danish p. So Danes tend to pronounce these sounds with too little articulation force, but they can still easily be understood by natives, no problem. Okay, there might be instances where it is a problem. We'll look into that later. Okay, then you have a combination of sounds, so I'll wait with that just a wee bit. Move on to the fricatives. Right, and all of these are characterized by the airstream being not completely blocked, but impeded so much as to produce friction. So we might start producing friction or frication, if you like, by putting the your upper teeth against your lower lip, and you just let sound, your sort of airstream stream through nicely and quietly. Then you have the voiced counterpart with the vocal cords vibrating, v, as in very, 5 as opposed to very. Then you have the fricative, which is dental. That is here the teeth do not really sink into your lips somewhat, but into your tongue. Stick your tongue out a bit. And just relax. Okay, you can also have the vocal cords vibrating, and then you have okay, right. Okay, S is easy, same as in Danish as in German, right? What you do here is you stick your tongue just behind your upper teeth, ridge of teeth, that is the alveolar ridge. So what you do here, you let the airstream flow, but impeded by this impediment. And there's also the voiced counterpart, z, that you have in German, sieben, right, or in English, zoo, right. Okay, then we get to the other fricatives, which are produced with special kind of frication. They have rounded lips. You round your lips slightly, and what you do is to take your tip of the tongue, right, put it somewhat above the alveolar ridge. Okay, find your upper teeth, or go to the ridge a little more up, almost touching the heart palate. And you can have rounding of lips. And then there's and here this is without voicing, without the vocal folds vibrating, it's just right. Then we have the voiced counterpart, as in casual measure, Okay, as in short, sharp, shock, right? Okay, then we have nasals, but before we go to them, we would like to look at a little of these mixed types here that we have in tr and j. They're affricates because they are, you know, plosives, but with frication after them, a fricative after them. So therefore, affricates, affricated plosives, if you like, affricates. And t sound, and then the sh sound becomes ch, and then we have the voiced counterpart j, as in judge. Observe here that both the initial sound j is and the final sound j is same, judge. Right, okay. Church, same goes for church, right? Which is the unvoiced counterpart. Right, let's take the nasals. Here you lower the velum, right, to let the airstream go through the nostrils, right, okay. And with M you just close your lips, right, with N, here you put your tongue behind the, against the alveolar ridge, and here with the it's the back of the tongue, just the way you might produce a k or a g, right, back of the tongue, sorry, against the soft palate. Okay, that's easy, isn't it? Okay, right, ha, just breathing, completely unmodified breathing, ha. And you might then put the speech organs ready to produce the next sounds, right? So to get the tongue position ready for the vowel and so on. So we'll talk about that later, right? Oo is a lateral. Here you, again, alveolar, isn't it? Put your, or perhaps against the hard palate, so take your tip of your tongue, right? Find your teeth and the alveolar ridge, and then a little higher up. Right, put it about the alveolar ridge, right? Ooh, yeah, also a little higher. Ooh, still do the trick. Two varieties here, namely the one where the you just keep your tongue straight, yeah, which is the L that we use at the beginning of a syllable, let, whereas the L at the end of a syllable, here you raise the back of the tongue considerably, almost forming an oo, ooh, as in full. You wouldn't say full, but full. So there's a dark L and a light L, yeah, l at the beginning, and ooh at the end of a sound, L of the syllable. Read is tricky, because here you have to have your vocal cords vibrating, and you put your tongue against the alveolar ridge, and behind it you have a little folding of it, a little, you know, groove, and then you quickly take it back, you know, not a tail kick, but then you move it back, rather tricky to produce that one, rubber and road and so on and so forth. Okay, W, just like the vowel O, right, you round your lips, and you have the back of your tongue raised against the velum, that is the soft palate, okay, back of the tongue, and then you have y, which is starting in like an I sound. So what you do here, you have like the blade and the tip of the tongue put as near the hard palate as you can. Yeah, it's not quite. There's just, you might just try saying yeah, as in yes, and it's all. But here the lips are not rounded. You would yes. Okay, so the lips are not rounded. They are formed like a slit, as it were. Okay, on to the vowels.